Hello, students. Today we learn our next poem, A Roadside Stand, composed by a very prominent poet, Robert Frost. Robert Lee Frost was an American poet, is known for his realistic depictions of rural life, using them to examine complex social and philosophical themes. Robert Frost had a sound command of American colloquial speech. Frost frequently wrote about settings from rural life in New England in the early 20th century. Frost was honored frequently during his lifetime and is the only poet to receive four Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. So now I would like to tell you about the theme of this poem. The main theme of A Roadside Stand is that the poet is contrasting the lives of people who live in cities and those who live in the countryside, that is, the rural areas. The rich people from the city don't pay any attention to the roadside stands. If I tell you in Hindi, इस पोएम में ये बताया गया है कि जो गांव में रूरल एरियाज़ में जो गरीब लोग रहते हैं और वो अपना कुछ लोकल का बनाया हुआ सामान या लोकल के कुछ प्रोड्यूसेस को रोड के किनारे कुछ ठेले या छोटी छोटी दुकानें लगा के सेल करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो किस प्रकार से जो अमीर लोग वहाँ से गुज़रते हैं वो उनको नज़रअंदाज करते हैं, उनके लिए बहुत इनसेंसिटिव रहते हैं. तो यही थीम इस पोएम में बताई गई है. Now I would like to give you a brief introduction of the poem. So in this poem, the poet highlights the plight, the sorrow of the deprived villagers who are working for some money to lead a better life. The poet is also very critical of the way the city folks treat these villagers who are selling their locally produced goods and plying past them without a sense of empathy. So these rich people of cities who ply across the roads in their posh and sleek cars, they are very careless towards the roadside stands. They are very careless and insensitive towards the people who stand on roadsides to ask for charity or to sell some produce to earn some money. But these rich people are totally indifferent towards the plight, pain and grief of these roadside stands. So now I will give you line by line explanation of the poem. So I'll speak two lines and then I'll explain the meaning of those two lines. Then again I'll speak two lines and then again I'll give you the paraphrasing of those lines. So I would like to start the poem now. So yes, the poem also illustrates the plight of economically underfed people who are often fooled by the cunning people actually responsible for their pathetic existence. So sometimes these rich people also befool and cheat these people who are standing on roadside. And the poet cannot bear their sadness, so the poet sympathizes with them. So let me read the poem now. The first two lines. The little old house was out with a little new shed in front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped. Here, the poet describes a small shed that a rural family has put up on the side of a highway, and they hope to sell some of their produce to the passers-by or to the passengers of cars that came from the city. Next two lines. A roadside stand that too pathetically pled. It would not be fair to say for a dole of bread. This roadside stand seems to appeal for some financial assistance from the passers-by. It looked very pitiful, as if requesting the passers-by to stop, and it symbolizes the pleas and longing of the farmer for some extra money from the snobbish city passengers traveling in their posh and sleek cars. It would not be correct to say that they were asking for charity. Actually, they only wanted the patronage and some help of city dwellers for their survival. So again, the poetic device used in these lines is personification. Like in the line, a roadside stand that too pathetically pled. Here, the stand has been given the human ability of pleading. Means the roadside stand is pleading. Pleading is actually begging or requesting. कोई है किसी चीज़ के लिए रिक्वेस्ट करना ऑनेस्टली बहुत ज़्यादा, उसको प्लीडिंग कहते हैं. तो जो रोड साइड स्टैंड है वो रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा है, लेकिन वो तो कोई ह्यूमन नहीं है, वो तो एक पूरा ऑर्गेनाइज्ड पैकेज है दुकानों का, लोगों का, सब चीज़ों का खड़े हैं जो पूरा स्टैंड बना हुआ है. वो एक रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा है, तो ह्यूमन क्वालिटी दी गई है, तो पर्सोनिफिकेशन. नेक्स्ट लाइन्स. बट फॉर some of the money, the cash, whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. So the farmer on the roadside also longs for some money that is keeping the cities running and preventing them from collapsing. In order to maintain the beauty of the city, the farmer also needs money. Just like a flower is the crowning glory of a plant, prosperity and growth bring glory to a city. The villagers would also like a share in this flower, or you may say wealth, but they want to earn it legitimately, not merely receive it as alms. So these poor people on the roadside actually want to sell their produce and want to earn the money. They don't just want to beg. वो कुछ खुदारी से उस पैसे को लेजिटिमेटली कमाना चाहते हैं, कुछ अपना सामान बेच के या किसी तरीके से बिजनेस के तरीके से, केवल भिक्षा के रूप में नहीं चाहते उस पैसे को वो उन पासर्स बाय से. सो अगेन इन दीज लाइन्स द पोएटिक डिवाइस इज मेटाफॉर द फ्लावर ऑफ सिटीज. इट्स अ मेटाफॉर. नाउ द नेक्स्ट लाइन. The polished traffic passed with a mind ahead, or if ever aside a moment, then out of sorts. The poet refers to the traffic as polished to draw attention to the sophistication of the city folk. They are not aware of the condition of the farmers, and the city men are rich but very selfish and insensitive. As they pass by in their big and sophisticated cars, they don't have any time for these rural folks. The poetic device again is a transferred epithet. In polished traffic, it refers to the sophisticated city dwellers who pass by the countryside in their sleek cars. जो पोएटिक डिवाइस है वो एपिथेट है यहाँ पे पॉलिश ट्रैफिक लाइंस में. नाउ आई कम टू लाइंस 9 to 10. At having the landscape marred with the artless paint of signs that with N turned wrong and S turned wrong. Even if they set a moment aside, it is not for the villagers, but the manner in which their roadside stand has spoiled the beauty of the landscape. The breathtaking sceneries contrasted with the crude hand-painted signs that indicate north and south and were twisted in the wrong direction. That is because the rural folk were not educated The rough roadside stand and the badly painted signs only annoy the city people. They feel irked, irritated, believing that the picturesque view of the countryside is marred by these sights. So the rich people are thinking that they are like a stigma and a black spot on the beauty of the city. Lines 11 to 13. Offered for sale wild berries in wooden quarts, or crook-necked golden squash with silver warts. A beauty rests in a beautiful mountain scene. So these lines tell us what was on sale in the roadside stand. क्या क्या चीज़ें वहाँ बेची जा रही हैं गरीबों द्वारा. So there were wild berries packed in handy quantities, fresh squash, and paintings of the exquisite mountainside panoramas. So these things were being sold by the villagers on the roadside stand. Now next lines. You have the money, but if you want to be mean, why keep your money this crossly and go along? So here the hurt and anger of the village folk has been described. They feel the pain of rejection and the meanness of the city dwellers, who are heartless because of their indifference and insensitivity. The farmers take it very personally that the urban people reject their fresh fruit and vegetables. The urbanites were rejecting all their items which they are selling. And worse than that is the rejection of their beautiful paintings, the rejection of the beautiful art which they are selling. Lines 16 to 17. The hurt to the scenery wouldn't be my complaint, so much as the trusting sorrow of what is unsaid. So their complaint is not just against the scenery. Their complaint is that their needs have been ignored. They feel that their trust has been betrayed, and that makes them full of sorrow. So here again a poetic device is used. I will say two poetic devices are used, oxymoron and metaphor, in the lines trusting sorrow. The peasants set up the shed with the hope and faith of attracting city folk to buy their produce. That is the connotation for the word trusting. And they are disappointed that no one is interested in their sales, but want them to remove the shed that mars the landscape. So therefore, sorrow is shown here. So trusting sorrow, oxymoron. Now next lines 18 to 20. Here far from the city we make a roadside stand and ask for some city money to feel in hand, to try if it will not make our being expand. So the only motive behind making this roadside stand was to share a bit in the abundance of city wealth. They didn't want to expand their business unreasonably. They just wanted to sustain their livelihood. They also wanted a lifestyle like the city dwellers. That was the purpose of making a roadside stand. Now, lines 21 and 22 of the first stanza. And give us the life of the moving pictures promise that the party in power is said to be keeping from us. The commonly occurring phenomenon of rural folk being tempted by the mindless movies towards a life of glamour and superficiality is depicted. The villagers believed the promises made by political parties in their manifestos. They actually believed those promises, but they were all false promises to keep them away from the real issues and prevent them from getting rich. So this is all about the first stanza of this poem. In my next video, I'll explain you the next stanza. Till then, please revise it. Take care. Bye.